Kennard Harris. I'm a ceramic artist and I enjoy doing pottery. This is my pottery wheel, and today I'm going to be making a bowl. I'm just going to take a couple pounds of clay to start out with to make my bowl. And first I want to make sure I try to get it in the center of my wheel. Kind of have that firmly into the wheel. And the key before I start my bowl, and as that wheel starts to spin, I want to make sure it's truly centered. So all I'm doing first is just making sure it's truly centered. And as I go, I'm constantly going to be using water. I have some water here. I have two actually water bowls, because I always want to make sure to keep my hands and the clay wet so it doesn't stick to my hands. So constantly keeping the clay wet, constantly keeping my hands wet throughout the whole entire process. So again, I'm constantly wetting the clay as I'm shaping the clay. And right now, I'm shaping the clay and getting it more and more centered to the wheel. As you notice at the beginning, there's more and more wobble to it, but you'll slowly start to see that wobble go out. So now my clay is leveled off. There's not the wobble that once was when I first put it on my wheel. So it's nice and smooth, it's spinning evenly. That's basically how I want it before I actually start to shape my bowl. Now that I have this in a nice rotation, I want to actually make my initial hole that's going to be the actual inside of my bowl. And everything with this is all about patience. You don't want to rush, you want to have it take it nice and easy. So now I've started to make the hole. That's going to be the inside of my bowl. I don't want it to go too low, because if I go too low, then I'll actually be through to the wheel and I'll have a big hole in my bowl, which is a little harder to eat soup with a hole in your bowl. So I have several tools that I work with. The first one I'll be using is a needle tool. Has this little point to the end of this, mainly so I can measure how close I am to the wheel. Take my finger, so the thickness of the bottom of the bowl is about this thick. So that gives me a little bit of room. And I want about a half an inch, give or take, to make that bottom of the bowl. So I have some room in the bottom. So now it's a good thickness at the bottom, not too thick, not too thin. The next thing I'm going to be using is a sponge. Always you want to keep the clay wet, you want to keep your hands wet. I'm actually going to be raising the sides of my bowl and start pulling them out to give that bowl its shape. So nice and even. I'm squeezing in with my inside hand and my outside hand, pulling up on the sides of the clay to start pulling it up and giving it its shape. Being patient, making it nice and smooth, making sure not to get too much wobble in there. So it's starting to get more of a shape. I want to pull it out more so it's more open of a bowl. So it's starting to get more of its bowl shape. Starting to open up a little bit more. One of the other tools I use is got a metal tool. It's a flat metal tool to kind of shape my outsides. There's also a wood tool I use. It's also flat to kind of reshape my bowl. As another tool, some call it a rib, a wood tool. There's several names. I use this on the outside, give it a little more shape. I also sometimes use it on the inside. So I use a wood tool, use my metal tool. Starting to widen out a little bit, starting to get more of that bowl shape. shape up a little bit. Now at this point I'm trying to decide on how wide I'd like this bowl to be. I want it to be more of a salad bowl, more of a soup bowl. This is where I'm making all those decisions. Edging my bowl up a little bit. Want to try to make it a nice even lip around the outside. It's all about making the bowl uniformed, nice and smooth. Nobody wants too wobbly of a bowl. Widen it out just a little bit more. A little more of a flare. There we go. Also, get a nice little lip on it, kind of curl over. I usually use my thumb and let you notice the rim of the bowl, let it slowly curl over my thumb. Nice and smooth. Make the top nice and smooth here. Nice little salad bowl, maybe a fruit bowl. Just a couple pounds of clay, and voila, have a little bowl. Easy out of the way so you can see this a little bit better. So it's basic fruit salad bowl. One other tool I want to show you is a wire tool. This is what we use to cut it off. Because right now it's so wet, it literally like sticks itself like glue to the wheel. So I usually use this underneath clay, like so. Just a nice even pass underneath. Sometimes I put a little extra water there on the wheel, so pass the water through to kind of break that seal. And there we go, we have a bowl. So if you look, here's the bowl. Now the only thing that's really, there's a few things that are left. Now that I've made the bowl in shape, I want to let it dry just a little bit. I turn it over and clean up the bottom, because the bottom is just going to be flat. If you look at the bottom of any bowl, usually there's a nice rim around the bottom. Usually there's some sort of like signature. I usually sign and date all my bowls. Once it fully dries, we'll then be putting it in a kiln where it gets fired, and we can then paint it, which usually is called glazing it. If you'd like, see my next video where I'll actually be showing how to clean the bowl up, where they call it trimming it. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.